Hello and welcome to Prime Property, your weekly real estate reckoner. I'm Nayantara Rai and this is what we have on the show today. The fate of almost 60,000 home buyers in NOIDA hangs in the balance. The Environment Ministry is dragging its heels in taking a decision on an NGT order that had banned handing over of completed flats. 11 years after booking a flat with Parsamnath, home buyers register an FIR with the Economic Offences Wing against the company and 6 others, including the chairman. Allege it's a 1,000 crore rupee fraud. Rents in Mumbai may zoom through the sky. The state government moves to amend the Rent Control Act that had frozen rentals in as many as 40,000 buildings. 10 years and counting. The wait for a real estate regulator continues. This week, the Real Estate Regulator Bill was sent to a 21-member select panel of the Rajya Sabha. This panel will be setting up meetings with all stakeholders and has time till the first week of the next Parliament session to table that report. We at Prime Property hope the select panel will go the extra mile in protecting consumers. The bill, in its present form, fails to protect lakhs and lakhs of consumers that are hurting from 2 factors. First, an alleged Babu Builder nexus, and second, the delayed government approvals, be it by the centre, states and local authorities. We at Prime Property have been maintaining that the Real Estate Regulator Bill must also hold the central government, state governments and local authorities as well as municipalities as accountable. We highlight the importance of this with an example. The fate of 54,900 apartments in Noida and over 30,000 buyers of all these flats continues to hang in the balance as the Environment Ministry is dragging its feet on deciding an eco-sensitive zone around the Okhla Bird Sanctuary. These home buyers have now petitioned the Environment Ministry and the Prime Minister's office to expedite the decision-making process and bring closure once and for all. More than 50,000 people have signed those petitions stating they're undergoing immense mental and financial hardship every day because of the delay. All these consumers continue to stare at the prospect of losing their investments as the National Green Tribunal, or the NGT, over a year ago had banned all real estate activity within a 10-kilometer radius of the Okhla Bird Sanctuary in New Delhi. The Environment Ministry was told to intervene and arrive at an amicable solution, which the ministry is yet to notify. This lack of decision-making is by a minister who in September last year had boasted of having erased the word delay from his vocabulary.
From our computer, we have deleted the word delay from our systems. Otherwise, Environment Ministry had become known for a roadblocking, a speed breaking ministry, a return of license permit quota raj. We have dispelled with all this and we are taking decisions. Now there is not a single file pending on my table.
In that same interview to CNBC TV 18 last September, the Environment Minister had promised to take a decision quickly.
We will give justice to all those whose flats are ready. At the same time, we will also care about the nature where nature should be protected and where there is a marshland.
It's been 9 months since that interview and still no decision. If we were to have a real estate regulator as is being proposed currently in the bill, that regulator would not have been able to come to the consumer's rescue as the central government, state government, local authorities are not under its purview. The frustrated buyers in a highly publicized affair had also approached Rahul Gandhi this week to take up their cause. After explaining their grievances to Rahul Gandhi, the home buyers got time with Prakash Javadekar a few days later on 6th of May. The Minister's office issued a press release post that meeting, and that press release stated, Shri Javadekar noted with concern that thousands of flat holders who had purchased the flats cannot occupy them despite paying EMIs and the flats being ready. Shri Javadekar said the public consultation on the issue is now over and a decision will be taken immediately. But for reasons not disclosed by the Environment Ministry, that press release was recalled within 1 hour. Let's rewind this infamous NGT case for you. The bone of contention is the identification of an eco-sensitive zone surrounding the Okla Bird Sanctuary. The National Green Tribunal in 2013 had directed the Environment Ministry to identify such an area while directing that all construction in a 10-kilometer radius be halted. The NGT had restrained the NOIDA authority from granting completion certification to any of the projects in the zone, which thereby bans builders from handing over possession of flats. The NGT had also deemed all environmental clearances as inoperational until a no objection certificate is secured from the National Board for Wildlife. The Supreme Court in June 2014 dismissed one of the builders, JP Infra's petition against the NGT ban. The Apex Court ruled the stage for approvals has not yet arrived, as the government still has to take a decision on demarcating the boundaries of the eco-sensitive zone around the Okla Bird Sanctuary as directed by the NGT. The Apex Court reasoned that if it allowed people to reside in these projects, it could later become a serious problem to deal with if any non-compliance of environmental problems were to surface in the future. On 24 September 2014, the Environment Ministry issued a draft proposal stating an area of up to 100 meters from the eastern, western and southern boundary and an area of up to 1.27 kilometers from the northern boundary of the sanctuary would be treated as the eco-sensitive zone. This is crucial as it gives the green signal to all upcoming and completed real estate projects in Noida. Public comments were invited for 60 days, that's till November 24, 2014. The Environment Ministry took care of all objections by January 2015 and there's still no notification. Consumers in their petition to the Prime Minister's office and the Environment Ministry have written, and I quote from it, "Despite paying in full for the property, after obtaining the bank loan, we are taking a double hit as we are paying EMIs along with the rent for the property in our present occupation. The most ironical issue is, even if we decide to give up our dream of buying the allotted house to us, we are not allowed to transfer the same at this stage until passing of the final notification. It all started as an issue of concern for the migratory birds. However, the delay by the government of India has made our lives more miserable than the migratory birds. Any further delay may leave many of us with no option but to become bank defaulters," unquote. I reached out to the real estate developers umbrella organization CREDI for more details.
Frankly, everybody is very harrowed and harassed. We are talking about more than 50,000 families, which means we are talking about more than 2 lakh people who are waiting to get their homes. These are your hard-working, white-collared, middle-class, middle-income people of our society who have actually booked their houses anything between 3 and 5 years back and have been paying EMIs, are paying rents on their current accommodation, which is stretching them to beyond their manageable limits.
Mr. Modi, we understand that thousands and thousands of home buyers have gotten together and petitioned the Prime Minister's office to intervene and resolve this matter. Do you know how many such buyers have signed that petition, and have they heard back yet from the Prime Minister's office?
You know, there are more than 50,400 apartment buyers who are affected with this. And when I say apartment buyers, I'm referring to families. So you can very well multiply that by 4 and say we're talking about more than 200,000, more than 2 lakh people who are affected. It has been brought to our notice that a large number of these petitioners have done a signature campaign and have put that sent that representation, their plea, to the Prime Minister's office as well. But no, there has been no response on that.
So the Prime Minister's office has also not reached out to these home buyers. What I also understand is that developers have started giving partial possession to home buyers. How are they doing that? You know, is that not flouting the NGT order?
You know, it's a situation is of that if you do, you are damned, and if you don't do, you are damned. Because the buyers who are our customers at the end of the day are suffering so much because of the financial hardship on them. And at the same time, the Apartment Act does not allow us to provide possession without obtaining the occupancy certificate from the NOIDA authority. So some developers have provided a partial handing over for fit-outs. So it's not that they've given over the possession of the apartments, because that would be violation of the law, but they, in order to compress the time, They have offered the possession for fit-outs to the home buyers so that they can get their fixed furniture work done while we wait for this notification, so that as soon as the notification comes and a OC is issued, these home buyers are able to move into their homes, which should be fully fitted by that time. So it's not really a violation in any sense.
So if it's not a violation, Mr. Modi, is that not a clever gimmick by the builders to give this partial possession and perhaps at a later stage not give a late penalty fee to the buyers?
I would not call it a clever gimmick to avoid a late penalty. It's more of a cooperation with each other, looking at the position where we are stuck. We are actually between, the devil and the deep blue sea kind of a situation, because there has been a tremendous amount of delay in handing over because of this particular restriction. And once we hand over, any home buyer would need more than 2 to 3 months to get their interiors done. So it's a partial handover so that they can get their interiors done.
Let's hope we shortly see closure of this matter once and for all. On the other side of prime property, we get you another example of how buyers are holding the short end of the stick. Buyers of a Pasarnath project in Delhi cry foul, file an FIR with the Economic Offences Wing even as they wait for their flat 11 years after the booking.